Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 8Ps. I would like to introduce to you today a concept which I have to be very honest, I didn't know even existed. Maybe I was aware of it, uh, but as a actual concept which exists and there is work going on, I wasn't aware of it. But before I do start with the concept, I would like to tell you a little story, which I again learned during the research for this particular topic. And I have to say, it's Metli's website, which kind of uh, brought this story up for me. So there was an earthquake in LA in US, and because of which there was a blackout. And the people in LA was very surprised because they saw something in the sky which they had never seen. For some time, they actually thought they were being attacked by aliens, and they started calling out for help. It was to their surprise and to all of our surprise that what they were looking at was the Milky Way. When I read this story, to me, it brought back a certain memory of my similar experience. Not that I thought it was aliens, but there was a point in time when I used to work in a small village in Punjab, and we were very habitual of seeing stars there. And on one of my journey back to Delhi, I still remember that I was sitting in the car and I was looking outside. And for a moment, I felt there was something different. And I didn't realize what it was. It took me literally 5 minutes to figure out what was wrong. And I still remember telling my friend who had come to pick me up that there are no stars in the sky. Unfortunately, I was not as curious as Metli to continue with this search. Had I done it, I would have gotten to know something which is called the light pollution. And we are going to talk about this concept today. So we have Metli here, who has been working on the concept of light pollution for some years now. Welcome, Metli, and so good to meet you. Hi. So, Metli, I've said pretty much what I had to say. This is my, as I said, my memory of light pollution. And as I said, I wasn't as curious as you as a child. And I'm so glad to have come across you and been able to sort that particular memory of mine. So tell us, I'm sure there are other viewers who are not aware of the concept of light pollution. So tell us a little about what light pollution actually is.
Yeah, so light pollution is, from what I experienced, light pollution is like when a particular light is that we have it installed in outdoors, indoors, anywhere. The light is not directed properly. It's usually when lights are designed, they're supposed to like light up wherever we are sitting. Say a light is there, it should light it up when I am studying, or usually this is for outside. When on the street or anything, when a light is there, it's supposed to light up where the cars are going, where people are walking, pedestrians, so then they don't trip or don't fall on their way. It's to light up the place that humans walk. Then the thing is, sometimes the lights are not designed properly. People don't realize that when the lights are like, they don't shield the lights properly, and it goes everywhere else. Wherever, say there's a tree above, and it lights up the tree. Like no one wants to see the trees, and they want to see the place they're walking on. That's the only place they're actually supposed to be focused on. But then they light up all the sky, and if I'm having a light outside my house, if it goes into the neighbor's house, or if it goes onto the place, like that's where my light is supposed to be, that's where it's supposed to be, that's where it's supposed to light up. When sometimes it goes into my neighbor's house, they'll get disturbed, they'll think, why is this random person lighting up their place, and it's coming into my house. Sometimes I have this neighbor, when they switch on their light, it comes into my house, and it comes through the windows, and I'm trying to sleep, and it comes into my face. I'm like, I get irritated with them. I just think, why are they doing this? It's not. So then that light wasn't designed properly. It was only designed to light up their backyard, and it comes into my backyard, comes into my window. It's 2 floors up, it comes into my window. And that's why it is not designed properly, which is why light pollution gets caused. So when it goes into the sky, this light is only supposed to be this 45 degrees angle or how much ever it's supposed to be, but then it goes above the angle. It goes to the
It's
sky.
reflecting out and
Yeah, yeah, it
giving
reflects on.
images outside, which it should not. Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so how did you have a little story of your own of how you actually found this, right? Do you want to share that with us?
Yes. So the reason how I got involved in light pollution was that one night I was just going to my terrace, I think to hang up some clothes, something, and then I was just looking. I think my mom was also there. We were both looking, and I was just saying, "Why can't I see any stars?" She was like, "I don't know." We didn't. She was not very interested. She was like, "I don't know." And then I was thinking it was kind of in all these stories they describe all starry, nice sky, and then I look up and I see lights. I was just curious. I was like, why can't I see any lights? So then I gee, why can't I see any stars? So then I just thought, okay, let me Google it. I just got my phone. I just searched it up saying why can't I see any stars in the night sky? I was curious. I was probably like 10 or 11 or something. I just wanted to know why. So then I went on my phone, I saw in my mom's phone and I searched it up, and it said cloud there's some nice sky website. It said cloud cover, bad weather, light pollution. And I looked up, I saw, okay, no clouds, no bad weather. And I eliminated all that stuff and I saw, okay, light pollution. Then I was like, okay, what does it even mean? I thought, okay, light and then pollution. So then I heard of all land pollution, water pollution, air pollution. Light pollution was like, I didn't understand it. Even noise pollution I've heard of, but light pollution and not, I didn't even know anything about it. So just out of curiosity, I just got my computer. I started researching about what it is, just because I didn't know what it was. I was a curious 11-year-old just looking through it, and when I have Google, it's easily accessible. I just okay, what is it? And then I saw, and then I realized that there were like some websites saying that light pollution negatively affects human sleep. Oh, I thought I just out of curiosity I wanted to search it up, and it turns out to be actually a serious problem. So then I started going through more and more websites, seeing okay, light pollution affects this, affects that. Then I realized it affects our sleep. It affects animals in the nighttime. Nocturnal animals, they'll think it's like their mindset, their mind is slightly it the brain is like, okay, when there's light it's daytime, when there's no light it's this thing. And artificial light sort of resembles natural light, so they also get affected. And humans, their sleep also gets affected, their eyes get affected, causes accidents. So like when some bright light comes in our face, so when we are driving, then like for a split second our eyes black out, and then and in that time how do we know it's swerve and this thing, and some accidents might be caused, who knows. And so there are actually so many things I didn't even realize until I just wanted to see, and I saw all these things. I was really shocked. I didn't realize also it was such a big issue. So that's why I became really passionate. I thought, okay, just a small thing. Turns out it's such a big issue, and so that's why I became passionate about light pollution and trying to prevent it, so no accidents are caused, no one gets harmed, everyone's safe, and I just wanted to try to prevent it. So that's how I got involved in this.
And I'm glad you're doing it because having lived in cities, I've always lived in cities most of the time. I have worked in villages and smaller towns, but pretty much lived in cities. And often I do come across people who say when they go to villages that they can't stand the dark. For them, the darkness is what scares them.
Yeah.
It scares them. They're uncomfortable because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
In cities, we're so used to the light that when we move away, it's become a norm for us to have all those lights. So I can say from experience, I do find it tough to sleep if unless I've completely blacked out my room. I know I find it difficult to drive, especially since I've started wearing glasses. So till I wasn't wearing glasses, of course, the bright light when it hits, it does hurt you. But more so with glasses.
Mm.
And that what you said is so true. It can cause a lot of accidents, and one really has to be careful driving at night, especially with glasses. So, Maitri, you figured this concept, you figured the light pollution, and then you wanted to do something about this. Tell us what exactly is it that you've been doing or are trying to do?
Yeah, so I've been talking to like different people and like anyone. I want everyone to know about it because it's really serious. And first, I just started off by talking with my parents, saying, "Oh, the research this thing called light pollution," and then now they all know everything about light pollution. I To help me prepare for this podcast, my mom told a point about safety issues and all that, and because I told her so much about it, now she has like integrated it into her memory. And then when I was preparing for this, she told some helpful things that I could talk about. And my parents also now know a lot about light creation because I really want everyone to know about it. So when I talked to my parents, I talked to some of my neighbors. Just in the conversation, I just brought up light creation, so they can learn more about it. And then one of my neighbors' dads or something, he also knew about light pollution. I was surprised. Now, not many people know about it, and I started talking to him, and we had like this 1 hour discussion on light pollution and how it affects and all that. And I was surprised to know how he knows so much about it. And I spoke to one of my other I think she was 9 at that time. I spoke to one of my other friends, and she was slightly small, and I tried to explain it to her, and initially she didn't understand, and I started talking about it. And she was like, "Oh," and I went to one of the lights, and I showed her that, see, when you cover your hand and the light doesn't come, you can see so many stars up. When you take that, it glares in this thing, and it glares, and we can't see the light. You can't see the stars. And and she was like, "Oh," and now she's slightly older, and now she are able to understand all that. And it feels so good that I encourage someone to like stand for my cause and what I'm so passionate about. I help someone else understand it and all that, and it feels rewarding. Yeah, I really it feels really good. And
And it's a great
yeah,
thing that you're doing. You've also started a website, right? If
yeah, yeah.
tell us a little about your website and what you're trying to do in the website.
Yeah, so then I thought that okay, I verbally I just talk to people about it, but then like if I have a website, then people from like anywhere, people on the internet also can learn about it. You just search something up, and this website will come up, and all the information you need to know about light pollution is there. Right now, it's a little my knowledge of it is limited. I mean I did a lot of research, but I didn't put it into my website. So then I've been like updating my website every time I learn something new about it, and I put it in my website and all that. So then different people from around the world, anyone on the internet can learn about light pollution by looking at my website. And like if people don't want to hear about it, they're busy or something, I can just tell them about my site, and then in their free time they can go look at it and all that. Like and that's how I created my site. I just wanted
No,
to.
it's a fantastic website. I went through it. I went through each page, I would say, and the information is very precise, to the point. It's very user friendly. I would encourage everybody to go through it. In fact, uh, as I said, the LA story came from the website. What I was also very curious is on the, you had said something about, sorry, yeah, one second, sorry, I'm forgetting. There's a course there which I didn't understand. The bottle scale, sorry.
Oh
What
yeah,
is the bottle scale? And I saw some courses. So I was just wonding, what are those courses and what is, are you trying to do something with them? What's happening there?
actually, the bottle scale is like there was this amateur astronomer, something called John Bottle. So
Mhm.
he just wanted to measure like light pollution in a certain like how we have kelvins, degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit.
Correct,
And he
correct.
wanted to invent like a unit for measuring light pollution. So
Okay.
then each there are 7 to 8 depending on which system you use. There are 7 to 8 bottle scale light levels, and each of them measures like how it's based on how many stars are there in that particular light sky with that particular bottle scale light level. And in bottle scale one is most stars, and 7 to 8 is less stars. So in bottle scale one, there are around 4,000 to 5,000 stars in the night sky. So most people are not very fortunate to live under those kind of skies. Now in urban areas, now that we live under around
I can
five.
count the stars on my terrace. Literally, I'm in Bombay. You can literally count the stars. That's how few we have.
Yeah, and sometimes in the bottle scale one, we can't even all those constellations and all. It's hard to even point it out
Yeah.
because there are so many stars and all that. And the people who go there now, they're so privileged to actually see that many 4,000 to 5,000 stars. And right now we live in all urban areas. Most people listening to this podcast will be living under like a community where all lights and all that and all that, and they probably wouldn't see all 1,000 stars more. And probably I once time I went to my terrace, I counted around 50 stars, I think, for 20 to 50. One of the I remember counting, and then even that was also a lot. I was like, oh my god, for this level of light pollution in my area, like, I was able to count 50 stars. But that itself, I was feeling very proud. And then that is actually slightly sad because like normally before light bulbs were invented, we would see all everyone would be able to see all these 4,000, 5,000, and all the stars and all that. And now it's not very easily accessible, and it's kind of sad actually. I feel a little listening
Very
to.
true.
Yeah.
It is sad. And I wish we would. And the kind of efforts you're putting in, I think we need many more people like you to do that. But you do have some friends who are working with you, right? And you're
Yeah.
doing some neighborhood work as well. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so then I created this group called the Milky Way, and I had created. I actually wanted to, like, as a part of this awareness thing and all that, I wanted to create like a group of people who are passionate about it and can help me spread awareness about it. So we can work as a team and we can all spread awareness. And I made this Google form saying, do you want to reduce the number of stars? Do you want to do you want to increase the number of stars in the sky? Do you want to reduce light pollution? Do you not like it when lights shine into your face? And some basic light pollution questions I asked to make them see how interested they were in the cause. And then final question was, do you want to join this light pollution club? So then a lot of people said, yeah, I do want to see more stars in the sky and all that. But when it came to the do you want to join the club, very less people are saying. They wouldn't be that like, I from experience I became passionate about. A lot of people don't have that sort of experience. And but then a few people, some 6 to 7 people from my class, they said, yeah, I do want to join. And I mean, some people joining is better than no one. So then I still felt encouraged that, yeah, at least some people have come. So then I contacted them, said, yeah, you in this farm you told you wanted to join. So then, yeah, they said, yeah, can you add me to the group? I said, yeah, sure. And we formed this Milky Way group in Google Chat, and we have this group now. And then we have these meetings and all that. Where, like, right now we're just in starting phase of spreading awareness and building maybe an awareness campaign and all that. And but then. I think this group was started a while back, and then after that, then Pujita and Shreyati, my classmates, they also joined those two, and then they were the most passionate in the group. They always used to regularly join meets, and we always we'll brainstorm and all that, and then one as our school is also happening, and then along that, teacher said something about our annual exhibition. Every year we have an exhibition like that where we can choose any topic and talk about it. And we thought this was a really good opportunity. We are always looking for opportunity to spread awareness, and this was a really good opportunity to talk to many people in our like this annual exhibition will be normally in the entire school people will come visit and all that. Because it's online, we people of our class will be coming and looking at our exhibition. So then we thought we can create a skit. It'll be fun, engaging, interesting for other people to watch. It won't be just us spouting information. We'll also have like drama and skate and play and all that. And then we thought, okay, it's a good opportunity. Then we formed this skill. My friend Shriyati was doing she's a good writer, and she helped do the script and all that. And we worked for like a week on it, or for a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then we used for like, because it's online, we can't exactly act and take a picture and or like a video and this thing. So then we thought we can maybe use drawings and portray our scenes in drawings. And hands-on, I got all my paper and did drawing for all the scenes and all that.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. Actually, the deadline was really close, but then I felt very excited and all that, and I worked for like each drawing took about 1-2 hours, and there were probably like 30 drawings in that. And then we but I had to scan, put in the PPT, and we some things like I can't draw stars very well, but then I got an image, and we integrated like technology and hands-on work to create like an all-round skit and all that. And then we screen recorded and presented in class. And it felt so good, and people were like, "Oh my God, the light pollution!" And like when we presented in a way like in an engaging script, skit, and play and all fun in a fun method, like then more people are interested. They just instead of just blabbering about, we present in a nice way, they are really interested about it. So then and then everyone in our class was like, "Oh my God, light pollution," and all that. They saw it in a different way, that we the characters or some we base it closely on our experiences, like three young girls who found out like they about why can't we see the stars, and then researched about it. And then we
Maybe
went further.
you haven't uploaded the play on your website
Oh,
or the drawing?
I
No,
didn't think to connect the
you
play.
should.
Yeah,
Why not? I mean,
yeah.
if your website does allow you, it'll be great. I mean, I'm getting so, I want to watch it. I really want to watch it. In fact, I'm going to ask your teacher to ask you to send it to us, especially the drawings. I mean, I would like to see it. It would be great for the blog piece, especially if we can have that. I mean, of course, what you've written is fantastic, but it would be great if we can even have this on. And
Yeah, it would be a
I look
pleasure to
forward to
share it.
yeah, it'll be great. I mean, the way you are describing it, I'm sure it's come out really well.
Mm.
But yeah, do send it to us. It'll be great. So,
Mm.
what do you? So, this was within your school. Have you looked at doing it with other? Have you had the opportunity to go to other schools or to any other place other than the school?
Actually, not really. I mean, we thought of doing it at a small scale and just us, but I mean, we started this initiative online, so we can't really go and all that because all Corona and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
true. But any other online platform, I don't know. I'm not aware of. I'm not too much into science, unfortunately. But I'm sure if you look around, there must be like the same kind of competition that happened in your school. I'm sure there are other inter-school, or
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff out there. Because definitely, as I said, it is a concept which is not as popular as it should be, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little yeah, and
Considering we live in it every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when we talk about all the different kinds of pollution, we're aware of water, air, noise, uh, all of them. We live in them and we are aware of them to a large extent. But light pollution, as I said, we deal and you have to deal with them on a daily basis. It's not something that you can run away from. I mean, I know now the trend with, of course, safety in mind, people are using halogen lights. I mean, I'm talking from Bombay and Delhi perspective, two of
Yeah.
our bigger cities, where halogen lights are used all over, which is great in terms of safety at night because it illuminates, it does protect you to a large extent. But then again, how much does it work in terms of light pollution? That's something, because I know I have a light, one of my our neighboring building light falls into my bedroom, and the I can't sleep till I don't
Yeah, yeah,
draw the curtain, and I have to cover that light.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I used to be a person who wouldn't mind not having my curtains drawn, but ever since that light's been installed, I've had to shut
Yeah,
my
yeah,
draw my
exactly.
curtains, and yeah. So so we are living through the light pollution on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah,
and yet
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
we go unmindful. We are just not mindful about it. So
yeah.
definitely a need, and it's so great to see the kind of work that you guys are doing. Um, Anything else you would like to add on? Any plans you have apart from what you've already discussed?
Actually, one thing you mentioned about the halogen lights actually ensuring safety. Actually, when I researched something, I found out this really shocking thing that those lights we think that ensure safety. Like if we have a really bright light here, for example, this light the when we're standing here is extremely bright and ensures safety around like in this space, but
Yeah,
around it actually like in contrast to the really bright lights, the entire surrounding area is slightly dimmer.
it's
And
darker.
yeah, it's real. It's actually I had this like these in my basket in the basketball court near my community. There's like these really
Yeah,
bright.
they're spotlights. They're meant to be spotlights. So they do.
Yeah,
But the point is that that's what I'm saying. It's so unmindful. You just don't think about it.
yeah,
So the fact that it is in my neighboring building where it's doing nothing, as you said, because the surrounding areas are still pitch
yeah,
dark, and yet just those two corners, it's just lit those
yeah,
up.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, and it's more a nuisance to us, to my building, because all of us have to bear the brunt of the
Yeah,
light coming
yeah,
into our faces every night. Yeah. But
yeah,
the fact we don't look at it. That's the thing. Even the simple fact of just lighting our streets, for that matter, I still remember, if I go back, when I moved from Delhi to Bombay, and this is a story I often tell people without thinking of light pollution, is I would always wonder how Bombay roads are so lit up and Delhi roads are not. And it's not the fact that Delhi roads don't have street lights, but the fact at later point I realized that the street lights in Delhi are much higher,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they have a tree line, and the lights unfortunately are above the tree line, and hence so there is light, the light is not falling where it needs to fall, the streets are not lit up. It has changed over the years, I'm talking of
Yeah.
at a time earlier, but that was the first striking thing when I moved cities, because in Bombay the street lights are really low.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Bombay, you can actually see more stars than Delhi, and it has nothing to do. I'm not talking of the current pollution levels, because I'm talking of way back in '95 when I know there was no pollution in Delhi. But even then, you could see more stars here in Bombay than in Delhi.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think one of the reasons could have just been this, because the light was being dispersed in all different directions, while in Bombay at that point in time, the light was more concentrated down rather than up.
Yeah, one in my light in my streets, like some of the lights, yeah, they're low, but some of them I see are really high,
Very
and then
high,
they're
yeah.
dispersed near the, you said, no, the
And
trees.
then they put those 5, 6 lights together, which do
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly. And they're
Really
really high, and
nothing.
then when they reach the ground, they're not bright enough for anyone to see. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
our the streets over here are slightly dimly lit and lit. And one of the lights I have over there outside my balcony, that light they've newly installed this like really bright light, and it's really bright over here. And then behind that, like it ends into a dead end, and then over there it's so dark, and that the contrast between this part and that part, it's so dark. Who knows what things may be lurking there. That's why we don't go there at all, because compared to the bright lights here, the ones over there are really like who knows, snakes, bugs, even some thief might be hiding there for all we know. I mean, like the because the contrast, even if it was all like uniformly lit, then there would not be any problems like that. But then the contrast, the really bright lights, they're not really designed efficiently. They don't look at the overall this thing. They just say, okay, you need to get a replacement bulb for this, I'll just fix it here. But then the overall thing, if it's all the same, then our eyes get adjusted, and then we can see in the slightly darker area, we can still see anything which is there. But then if this part is really bright, that part becomes dark, and our eyes don't adjust, and
Eyes
then
take time
suddenly,
to adjust. Yeah,
yeah,
eyes take time to adjust.
yeah.
That's a fact.
And in that split second, what if something's lurking there? Suddenly, so maybe a snake or a thief, or how do we know anything is there? Because in the time it takes for our eyes to adjust, something might come and like it'll surprise us. That's why for safety concerns and all that, we don't want surprises. We want to be prepared for everything. And in our efforts to make it safe, we actually make it like people associate all
We have not
crime
yet.
and all
We
that.
have kept it in mind.
Yeah,
True.
we sometimes people associate crime with all dark alleys, badly lit, all that place and all that, and some stranger coming with a knife. All that is all like all film kind of these things. And but then how people don't realize that too bright lights also. Like I saw this video where this people were just having fun around some bright area, and then first of all the light wasn't even that properly lit. It was slightly too high, and the trees were covering and all that. And when they thought it was safe, because okay, there's a light right under there, so we can sit and enjoy. And then suddenly from the back, when that was just like it was staged and all that. But imagine suddenly from the dark, behind they were sitting on a bench in the trees there and all that. Behind the tree, someone was hiding and came, and they're like, because their eyes wanna just suddenly something comes means, and that was just like a play. It was just like a chuma thing, but it
It's
showed.
a fact. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
plays come there. They do come from real life.
They
So
come
it is
from, yeah.
something which does happen. As I said, even driving at night, it's not easy. And when the lights come on you, it does get very difficult. And
Yeah,
I know for a long time now, I have avoided driving at night
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
mind, because most often people drive on the high beam, and it does get difficult after a point to concentrate on driving.
Yeah, over here we live in a slight suburban area, like this main city is there. We live a little bit this thing. Sometimes the roads are narrow and street lights aren't installed also, and then so we only rely on our headlights. And once me and my mom we were coming back from school or something, and then and it was like a blind turn. Street lights aren't installed. We have to rely on our headlights, and suddenly something comes, and they also like the headlights are designed to like they come they don't light up the floor, they light up our eyes, like we it glares into our eyes, and it almost caused like an accident. I was really scared after that time. I got almost like a heart attack. I was like, oh my god, the lights weren't like when light pollution is when their lights aren't efficient. These lights are trying to do their purpose, but then it doesn't happen, and then it comes right in front of our eyes, and then in that split second what happens means we don't even know. Sometimes when dog passes through over here, now we live in very suburban areas. Suddenly, one cow comes or a dog comes and all that, then it's actually very dangerous. Now, there was a blind turning and lights aren't installed. And like the road was designed so that like like there's a slope on the other side. It's like a narrow road. I got very scared because suddenly it like at least if it lights the ground, I'm okay. It was right at our face, like some sort of mode where it lights at our face. I got very like it blinded me for a second there. Almost something might have happened if we hadn't been more careful. I mean, if we hadn't been more aware like that, it would have startled us a lot. Like so then the way the lights are designed also, it really matters. We might not think so, we might not realize it, but actually really matters how the lights are designed. We should get like these good engineers to design the lights properly. Then yeah.
I agree.
Mm.
Thank you, Maitri. It's been so enlightening. Literally, it's been enlightening to have this chat with you. I don't know how many of us would have actually thought how harmful light can also be. In most cases, having light in our life is a boon. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from that. Electricity has been one of our biggest invention. It has changed the world. There's no doubt on that. But then, as we always say, that excess can lead, and if it's not planned right, as you repeatedly emphasized on the planning of installing lights and the angles at which it needs to put in, the kind of light you're talking of, white versus halogen, and all the other kind of lights, that because now we do
light temperature also matters.
We do have options. We fortunately over the years, with the kind of progress science has made, we do have options. So it's not that we just have to stick with one kind of light, which eventually leads to this kind of discomfort, this kind of, as we rightly termed it, as light pollution. And basic things like stars are becoming a way of the past in the cities. And I have to tell you that Singapore, so I've had the fortunate of living in Singapore for a few years, and you do not see stars in Singapore ever.
I saw like a lot of videos.
You do not see stars in Singapore ever. I don't remember other big cities. I've been to a lot of big cities, but Singapore, you never see stars.
Yeah, a lot of times in all the videos, all the light pollution videos I've seen when I was researching, they always mention Singapore and they say that their eyes don't get fully adjusted to the dark and all that. And they keep mentioning Singapore, and then
because it's so lit up. The city is so vibrant. It is so lit up, and they use all kind of lights. And it is something which you do once you're there, you actually get used to dark sky. You just, and you can be anywhere. Unfortunately, it's a small island, but because they have lit it up so well that you just don't have stars in that city.
In the videos,
I find it unfortunate, but yes, that is what we are doing to our cities. That is what we are actually doing to our skies, that a lot of us are growing up without seeing stars.
Yeah, in the videos they say that like when there are so many lights over there, our eyes don't get fully adjusted to the dark. They're like when we come to the dark, which is like it doesn't like our eyes have to take some 5 minutes to get adjusted to a dark place and all that. And then they say in Singapore that people's eyes don't get fully adjusted because there are so many lights. As you said, there are so many lights. They've lit it up so well that our eyes just when they come to a dark place, it sort of just overwhelms our eyes. We see a dark area. And from evolution, we've always had this difference between day and night. In the nighttime, we just shut down and we go to sleep, and it's all fully pitch dark. And now this invention of the light bulb and all that revolutionized the entire world. I mean, they probably when they invented it, they'd just be like, okay, yeah, that's a nice light. Then they wouldn't have predicted that it goes everywhere around the world. And I mean, that time when they invented, they don't think about like how it might affect. They just like, oh, that's a good invention. I try to do so much work and I invented this. That's so great. And then they won't realize that it actually has such an impact on human physiology and all that, and animals, nocturnal animals, turtles. So there are actually so many plants, animals. So yeah, I mean when
we're going to end our podcast here. We are running short of time, but thank you so much for all that you've shared with us. I would encourage everybody to go through your website. The website, as I said earlier, is really nice. It's really well done, very informative. But I would love to see your skit on it. I would love to see those drawings. It would be
That's
great. You must add it there. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for being with us. And I hope you enjoyed the light pollution, which, as I said, I would have never thought of light in terms of pollution. But yes, there is a term called light pollution, and it does exist. And unfortunately, it's growing by the day. It can be stopped by very, very thoughtful ways. It's not something that is expensive. It's not something that needs to go out of you. One needs to go out of their way. But just being a little mindful, and we can take care of light pollution if we do start, as Maitli has started, from her house, from her neighborhood, and her school. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here, Maitli.
Thank you, Andy. It was a really good experience and spreading awareness through a podcast, through different methods. It's really been nice being here and talking about what
We've
I'm passionate
enjoyed
about.
having you here. We've enjoyed having you here.